I finally get married only to find out that my husband is gay. So I left off by telling you about another dream I had and the fact that my dad was talking about me and all that stuff. So every time I had dreams, this been going on. I'm not going to say every night, but because he was hanging out with other young men, people that was on choirs, choir directors, young men from other churches, I'm just like, still got this information, still looking, still wondering. Nothing's happening. I'm just quiet. I shut down. Like my coach always say, when trauma happens and things happen, the first thing the enemy do is he wants to muzzle us. And I was definitely being muzzled every time an incident took place or whatever. So, what happened was, like I said, a month went on, maybe between a month or so. Just I'm going to work and I'm sad, but just hoping things will work out right. Or going to church, hoping things will work out. He's saying he's not like that, but I'm seeing other things, and I have nobody to talk to. I have my sisters, but I'm crying at night, and I'm crying in his face. And that's another thing too I want to share with you, because not only am I going to tell my story or tell some of it, I'm going to let you know that, let me tell you, when people are stuck in their ways or people decide to live a certain way, no matter what it is, whether it's drugs, alcohol, lesbianism, gay, whatever people's choice of life is, there's nothing you can do about it. You can cry, you can pray, but if if that's their choice, then that's between them and God. But I'm saying you can't manipulate God, or you can't manipulate the word, or even manipulate them. Yes, my tears was real, but I ain't gonna lie, it was at times I would make sure he saw me crying, hoping that, he saw the tears and would, get himself together, but that didn't happen. But anyway, I'm gonna give you one incident that took place. I was working, and I worked in a pharmacy at the time, and I would get off at 6 o'clock. And so I wasn't supposed to go home that time, but I think I got off early that day. When it's not busy, the boss lets you leave. Now, the way the apartment was set up, because I was in the basement apartment, it was nice. It was like part of the first floor. The first door is always left open, because if anybody need to get to the meters or anything, it would be open. So if you go like one door, then if you go 6 feet, about 6 feet, there's an entrance to my apartment. So when I come home early, the first door is locked, which is never locked. The second door, of course, was locked. Me, in my spirit, the Lord revealing, I know something was going on behind that door. So what I did was, I been had my key, because my key is connected to my car key. I had my key in my hand, but I purposely pretend I was fumbling with the keys, making noise, because I didn't want to face what I knew was going on behind that door. I promise you, I knew it. And anybody have the Holy Spirit, believe in, God speaking to you or dealing with you or revealing stuff to you, that's exactly what happened. For those of you that don't believe it, I'm sorry. But I knew something was going on behind those doors. So I just dangled with the keys because I didn't want to face it. And when I finally did open the door, someone was holding the door. It was actually a young guy that my husband was hanging out with. He was pressing up against the door. And I'm like, I wasn't really trying to push the door too hard, but I'm like, what's going on? I knew what was going on. And then he tried to laugh it off. He went in the bathroom, and my husband was just sitting on a chair. So him holding the door, they trying to get themselves together. What I do, I just walk in. I can pick up on the spirit. I'm telling you guys, I didn't walk in on it because I didn't want to. If I wanted to, I could have just opened that door and walked in. I walked in on them stopping what they was doing. And I'll tell you why later. But if I don't tell you, ask me in the comments. But I did have proof besides me just picking it up in my spirit. But I also looked at my bed. This young man, husband of mine, was so clean. You know how everybody make their beds up? When he had nothing to do, he always just did extra cleaning. Bed always made. Can you please tell me why my comforter was off the bed, pillows on the bottom, some pillows on the floor, sheet all messed up, and there was a stain on the sheet. And I saw all the stuff, but I didn't say anything. I just walked out. Now, mind you, I didn't tell you guys. I got to back up a little bit. At that time, I was the choir director for the children's choir. And because my husband was a choir director, period, he automatically just joined in with me. And I didn't have a problem with it because he could get them on notes that I couldn't get them on. So, you know, he was helping out. But that wasn't a good idea because he was too close to some of the young boys and some of the older boys. You know, though some was his age and some wasn't. But however, I knew that wasn't a good idea. But for that moment, you know, we just, you know, directed the choir. But however, I went to church and I'm thinking he's going to ride with me. Him and the young guy, they walk into church. And I'm looking at them. Of course, I beat them to church because I'm driving. I said, why are you walking? He said he had to talk to him about something. Of course you had to talk to him. You had to prep him and prepare him for anybody asking questions. But I never asked questions. I just held it all in. And went to choir rehearsal. Began to praise the Lord and try to direct the children on whatever they went through that day. You know, just to forget about it. That God is a forgiver. He's a healer. He's a deliverer. And I began to sing this song. I know it's in Psalms, but the scriptures created me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, O Lord. Take not that Holy Spirit from me. I can't sing it right now, but it was a song. And I told the young people to close their eyes, focus on God, and sing that song. Do you know my husband? You don't know, but I'm telling you. He looked at me and said, I think I'm slick. Why would I think I'm slick when I'm trying to get them their hearts right before they go before God and try to rehearse a song? I'm done with this part of the story. Tune in, more videos to come. Again, I got to get into my manuscript so I know what to tell you, what not to tell you. But it's going to get good. It's going to get good. But anyway, that's the end of that part. Just know, if I don't tell you, you guys remind me, ask me in the comments, how did I know for a fact that something was going on if I didn't see it? And I will let you know. Again, I'll be back. I finally got married, only to find out that my husband was gay. So I'm picking up where I left off from. I believe I was talking about how I came home from work and I didn't want to open up the door because I knew that something was going on behind the door that was never closed, but all of a sudden it's closed. And because of the fact that I got off work early, nobody didn't expect me. So anyway, I told you guys that I will let you know how that I knew that something was going on for a fact besides the evidence or me just perceiving or in my spirit. So the sister of the person had told me later, and everything she told me, she wasn't there, is what her brother had told her. So that means, you know, everything I mentioned, the way I came in, the pillows on the floor, the sheets, the bed messed up, the stain on the sheet, it was confirmed by her, which I already knew. But when you hear somebody say it, you be like, you know what, I knew it. But however, that was in part 6. So what I want to talk about now is, okay, still married to him. This is in the beginning now. Keep in mind, I'm shocked. I don't know what to do. Again, you guys may be saying, oh, you should have just left. I was 24 years old. That wasn't too old, but it was young, but it wasn't, you know, I wasn't mature enough, you know, like I am now when it comes to, you know, situations like that. I thought because, you know, we was taught, remember my father was my pastor, so he always said, if somebody asks for forgiveness, who are we to hold things against them? It's under the blood. And again, I thought it was one encounter. I didn't know how serious, you know, his situation was. So I'm still with him. So when I said that I dreamed that my father was talking about me, I'm gonna tell you why too, because I wasn't clear on that as well. So what happened was, when I did talk to my husband at the time about what was going on behind the door, he was in denial, of course. So before I can go tell the pastor, who was my father, he went and told another family member, and then that family member told my dad. You would think a father, and I'm keeping it real, would say, well, are you okay? Even if something was wrong with me, be concerned. Are you okay? Even if you didn't believe it. Like, what's going on with you? What would make you think that? That's not what I got. I got, come here, let me talk to you. I don't want you starting no mess in my ministry. The ministry is going real good. I mean, church was packed from front to back. I mean, you had everybody there on time, everybody praising the Lord. Choir going good. Everything was going good. So pretty much his exact words were, everything is going real good in my ministry. Don't start no mess. And that's what he said to me. Because according to him, I was known to start trouble, which I wasn't, y'all. I'm just outspoken like I am now. If I could talk about my own self, if somebody wrong about something, I'll call them out. So, however, that was the thing. So that was another blow, to me, what that caused me to get silent. I was really shocked and I was really hurt, and I really shut down because I'm like, if I can't come to you, Dad, or Pastor Dad, the pastor is my dad. If I can't come to you, who am I going to go to? And you're the one that performed the ceremony. I'm not blaming you, but, I really didn't need my father at the time, and I didn't have him. And that wasn't the only time I needed him. But however, I was hurt. So from that day on, I never told him anything. I don't even know if he realized what he said to me. A lot of times, and in between telling stories, I'm going to give like little advice and encouragement because that's what I do. But a lot of times, we say things, whether it's mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, friends, or whatever, boss, co-worker. We say things a certain way, things come out of our mouths, and then we wonder why the person is acting a certain way or treating us a certain way. It's because of something that was said already. So for him to say to me, my ministry is going real good, don't start no mess, that hurt. Because I wasn't starting any mess. I was just sharing with a family member what I believed that was going on. And nobody believed me. Everybody thought Stephanie was starting like she, quote unquote, normally do. And so that's one of the things I said when I dreamed that my dad was talking about me. Pretty much once all the dreaming started, I was dreaming everything. Nothing was a surprise. Every time I told my sister or even my ex-husband at the time, when I told his sister, they would, maybe they believed me, maybe they didn't, but, I had no proof. All I knew is what God was revealing to me. So that's the end of that. I'll be back with another part. Finally married, only to find out that my husband is gay within a week of the marriage. Okay, so I was talking about how my father didn't believe me, what I brought to him about, what I saw or I believe that was going on behind closed doors. And what was going on behind closed doors was pretty much me walking up, finding that my husband was with a young guy because I got to work early. So that's you got to catch the other videos to get caught up with that. But anyway, so weeks go on. He's still doing what he's doing. He's working, hanging out. I'm going to church. He going to church. I'm just in the house by myself while he hanging out. Sometimes I'm at the sister's house, going through, not understanding what I'm going through. Thank God for my sisters. Shout out to them. But one day, I don't know what prompted my husband just to say, you know what, he was going to visit the old church in another town where he was attending. So he went back there to visit, and supposedly he felt like that's where he belonged, and he was enjoying the services there. So while he's going to one church, I'm going to my father's church. And still, nothing's really going good with the marriage. It's just like, whatever, nothing's happening. So one day he came and told me, he wanted me to be with him. So, come with him to the other church. Because he felt like if I was by his side, it would help him with his deliverance. And, here I go again, not understanding and knowing what was going on. I did ask my dad, a red flag, I don't know how many red flags is this by now, but me asking my dad, do you mind, getting permission from your father and pastor? Because, you're supposed to let them know if you're leaving the church that I want to go with him. He said, I don't see nothing wrong with it. And now I know why. My father didn't care, y'all. That's another story. My father did not care. I think it was better for him to say, for me to go be with him than around him, messing up what he was doing. That's another whole story. But I joined him going to the other ministry. We traveling from New Jersey to the other town that our church was in, and I was having a good time, but then again, I wasn't, because I'm like, I know the Spirit of God was there, but me, I was just, when you're going through, I was just sitting there looking. And most of the time I was looking at my husband, not in awe, not in lust, not like I was sweating him. I'm looking at him trying to figure out how you directing this choir, how you singing this song, how's these people shouting and falling out, and I know how you're living. And one day, I just had it in my heart for days and weeks until one day I realized two things. Two spirits cannot operate at the same time. So that means if God decided to use him, because God can use whomever he wants, right, to bless the people. That was a gift and a talent that he had. But if God wanted to add a little bit grace with that and bless the people, then the people were being blessed. I don't know what's wrong with my green screen this time. But anyway, so that's when I understood that, you know, although he wasn't living right, he was still able to, you know, bless somebody with his voice and with his talent and with his gifts. And I truly believe, like I said, because I know the Spirit of Christ. And I know, but I'm just looking like, I don't want to be confused, but that's what it was. He was up and down, up and down. One minute he want to be like this, next minute he don't. And I found out it was a pattern with him. I'm not going to say he never wanted to be like that, because I don't know his heart. Only God does. But from the way he did things, I would say whenever he broke up with somebody, then he was full force going forth in the ministry. That was his concentration. Reading his word, singing, getting new songs for the choir rehearsal, choir director, leading songs, and all other. That's what he was focused on. But as soon as someone come around that looked like he looked, walked like he walked, talked like he talked, then all of a sudden he, you know, he don't know what to do anymore. So that's what I was dealing with, the up and down, up and down. And just for you guys too, I did receive a word from the Lord that that God was going to bless the marriage, or God was going to bless. And the Lord used different ones to work with him. So when you see the Lord using people, I talk about this in my book that's going to come up. Yes, I do have a book. It's talking about prophecy going wrong, or you misinterpret the prophecy. When somebody give you a word, whether they prophesy in parts, or if you don't understand, it's okay to ask questions. Just don't be nasty about it, but ask them what do they mean by it. And then you go pray to God and ask God to reveal, because I was holding on to him when he wasn't even thinking about me. And that's another story. So it was kind of like a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster of a marriage. 1 minute I want to do good, next minute I don't. And every time he wanted to do good, I just felt like that was God blessing his life, moving in his life, or doing what needs to be done in his life. So I held on more. So this is part 8 right here. Tune in for part 9. I finally got married, only to find out within a week's time that my husband is gay. I've been posting videos for the past 3 or 4 days about this story. It's about 8 videos up already, so those of you that's just getting to know about this, you can go back so you can get caught up. Let me slow down. Now, what I want you guys to do is, as you can continue to listen to these videos, please like, share, comment. I really want you to engage, ask questions. I will be answering them. I might do a live Friday night here, so I can answer your questions better as opposed to just typing. Because some things need to be explained. Because you may be like, oh, if I was you, I would have did this. And you're right. If I was me, I would have did it. Maybe I wasn't myself. Not just kidding. But just continue to enjoy the video. To me, for me, sharing my story, it's like you're getting a free Lifetime movie for free. All you gotta do is like, share, and comment. Engage, ask questions. Like I said, heart it up. You know, do what you gotta do in the comment section. Just engage. And I'll be back with some more content tonight. And I think I'm gonna go live Friday. Matter of fact, if you guys want me to go live Friday, type in the comment, yes, go live. And then I'll let you ask questions, and I'll take my time and answer. So I'll see you later. I finally get married, only to find out that my husband is gay. So anybody that's just catching this video now, there's several parts on my TikTok page that you can go catch up on. But now I'm going to talk about married to someone that's gay, but finding out that you're pregnant. So, okay, you know, again, this is over 2 decades ago, y'all. So I don't exactly remember how it happened, but you know, symptoms, missing the period, keeping it real, take a test, I'm pregnant. I'm in shock. I don't know what to do. Anybody that knows me now, children is my ministry. I always work with them. I love them. Actually, I always work with children before I even had any. So, anyway, getting back to the story, I'm pregnant. I don't know what to do. So I tells him, this dude, he jumping around, he happy. He more happy than me. And I'm looking like, I was a lot like my mother. I don't know if she's going to come across this video. She's not on TikTok, but I'm a lot like my mother. Even if I am excited, sometimes I don't show it. I don't be playing games. I just, you know, kind of like relaxed. But he was happy. Oh my God, he's telling everybody, well, you know, telling his parents, telling his siblings or whatever. And I'm just really calm. Of course, I gotta I'm telling my mother and my siblings. But I'm like, what's to be happy about? Like, I'm pregnant by someone that's gay. So I don't know what's this going to be all about. But the more I saw him happy, and of course I'm not going to terminate the pregnancy because we don't believe in abortion and stuff like that. But the more I saw him happy, it's like a light turned on. Ding! I said, wait a minute. So if he this happy, maybe I can, but not me, but if he this happy, maybe me being pregnant can help him in his deliverance. Because mind you, y'all, I call it deliverance. For those that don't understand, he is the one that confessed that he didn't want to be like that. So if he up and down, I don't want to be gay, well, this is what it is, I really don't want to be like this, I believe in God. So I'm going with his program, his story, and which is a part of my story because he brought me into his life. Or I joined into his life, however you want to say it. So I'm not, you know, talking about nobody else's life and whoever homosexuality life or gay. Y'all gotta forgive me because I don't know how to say it all the right way, but I'm not coming against nobody and their decision or their life choices. This is my story and I'm talking about it. So anyway, I'm thinking, okay, if he just happy about me being pregnant, maybe this pregnancy could help, you know, our marriage, you know, grow and help our family grow. And little did I know, or should I say, in the beginning, that's what it started out. He was home, you know, make sure you got your yoga, you got your vitamins, you okay, you know, helping out, staying home, you know, just chilling. And I'm happy. I'm traveling back and forth to the next town, to his mom's house, cousin's house, you know, belly growing, I'm glowing. That rhyme, but I was looking cute. Belly growing, I'm glowing. You know, we excited. Y'all know how it is, females. So, and I'm excited because the husband right there, he's not around anybody. But holidays coming. He gets the next, I don't know if it's a second job or a part-time job, holiday job. He gets a job right before Thanksgiving. And what does his job do? Every time he get around new people, he begins to hang out. And whether it's male or female, he's hanging out. Never jealous of anybody, especially the females, because I knew his situation. But, you know, he hanging out with them. I'm back, you know, to myself for about 2 weeks. So now, because he's working, I'm going to the appointments myself, which wasn't bad. You know, go to work, you make the money, I'm going to the appointments. So I had an appointment one time, and this is about the pregnancy. And I remember I'm supposed to see the sex of the baby. So now they're finally doing the ultrasound, sonogram, whichever one you want to call it, both. Yeah, I know sometimes we forget when we get to talking. But anyway, I remember a young lady saying, oh, your baby's stubborn. And, you know, I thought it was cute because anybody know me. I could be stubborn too. So, oh, your baby's stubborn. I said, yeah, like me. But then I remember looking over to my right, and she's like into the sonogram, like all his head moving. And, I mean, she really into it. Me with my discernment, y'all. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a technician for taking sonograms, whatever you want to call it, x-rays, all that stuff. But come on, you can tell with somebody, what are you looking at? Like, you all up in the screen, clicking, clicking, clicking. So I'm looking. I didn't say anything, but I'm paying attention. She never said anything. She went out and got another doctor. Now he's talking. They're not talking. I'm sorry. They're not talking. They're looking. They're looking. Both of them looking. I'm looking. They're looking. They don't see me looking, but we all looking. And they didn't say anything. Unplug the machine. They get another machine. They still pointing, talking really low, and looking. It was more looking than talking. Pointing and looking. So that's the second machine, y'all. So he wrote up a note, and he said, well, this machine is not working too well. We want to send you to Newark or whatever, because I live in New Jersey. So they want to send me to Newark, and that's a high-risk clinic. You know, when people are pregnant, they have a special area for high-risk pregnancies. So he said, we just want to use their machine because we're not picking up something. I think this machine broke. You know, doctors don't always give you that before they give you the real deal. So I go immediately. I drive over to Newark because they wanted me to go that same day. So I drive over to Newark and, you know, go in to get a prescription. They take me right in. They must was expecting me. pull out the biggest machine they got, the best machine, I guess, because I never knew what the machine was. I don't even know what the real machines are for regular pregnancies, but I didn't know what this big machine was. But I'm sure it was going to pick up more of what the other machine couldn't. So they're looking and looking. So then I remember the doctor says to me, after they finished, the doctor came in, because you got 2 technicians now. And he was like, when the last time you felt the baby move? And they was asking me, like, it was like a trick question. That's how I felt. They said, did you feel the baby move today? Did you feel the baby move last night? So I was like, I don't know. I said, because, you don't know sometimes. A lot of, you 4 months. I'm 4 months pregnant. The baby do start moving that time, but I don't remember feeling the baby. I said, I don't know. Maybe it was gas. I don't know. And, people laugh at me, but I was serious. So, he came and told me, he said, your baby is not moving that much. First, he said the baby's not moving. And the thing was, I'll be back for y'all. Yeah, I'm going to keep y'all waiting. Hold on. Although y'all didn't really wait. The thing was, the baby only had 1 leg. The spine was crooked. And the heart of the baby was growing on the outside of the body. And they asked me, was I going to terminate the pregnancy? Of course, back in them days, and it should be happening these days too, whatever the devils would say or the doctor's report would say, I've seen God do miracles in the ministry. We actually seen somebody raised from the dead, and they asked for chicken when they got up, and that's in the Bible. When somebody was raised from the dead, they asked for meat. We seen miracles, and I understand. And I also know there's a scripture that says, even if you don't believe God, believe by what you already seen. So I already seen a lot of miracles happen, so I wasn't nowhere near terminating the pregnancy. I could blame it on them, say, oh, you just don't see the other leg. And in the natural, people could say, oh, she was out of her mind because she's still going through with the marriage. But I was not terminating the pregnancy. So I remember one day I was in service on a Sunday, still growing and glowing, looking all cute. And blue is my favorite color. Y'all, I had a blue and white outfit. I was just cute. I sat in the back because I was in charge of the children's ministry. And we had the children separate from the adults. Because kids got to go to the bathroom a lot. This baby need a bottle. This baby got to eat. This baby want a snack. We sat in the back with the children's ministry. And the Lord always used my mother prophetically to, to minister to people. And if any of you ever experienced my mother ministry, y'all would know. But anyway, so I remember after the Lord used her to bless a couple of people throughout the church, she came all the way to the back. And she began to pat on my stomach. And I didn't know then, but I know now, the pattern was, the scripture that says Jesus is the potter, we are the clay, that he'll mold and make, make us. So she was patting like that. And because of the doctor's report that I had of the baby having 1 leg, crooked spine, and the heart was going on the outside, I knew that the Lord, I didn't know it then, but later on, I knew that the Lord was, mending everything and putting everything together what the baby didn't have. Because after the Lord used my mother to do that, she rocked her arms left to right. You know how you rock a baby like, dun, 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 dun. I'm trying to show my hands like this, y'all. So she rocked her hands all the way from the back to the front of the church. And when she got to the front, it was like going higher, 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 higher like this. And when she got all the way to the front, she just lifted her hands up to the altar and like gave the baby to the Lord. And me being prophetic and discernment and understanding what's going on, I'm like, where's she taking my baby? But never thought about anything. I'll be back for the next part. Married, finding out my husband is gay, and now I'm pregnant by my husband who's gay. So I left off telling you about the getting into the pregnancy or whatever. My sonogram that I had from the doctor. Again, if this is your first time seeing this video, go and check out the other 9 or 10 videos I already posted to get caught up. But anyway, I go home. Well, after my mother did what she did in church, to praying for the baby or whatever, laying hands on my belly, praying for the baby by the Holy Spirit. I didn't think anything of it. So, 2 more weeks go by. Now that the baby has like a deformality, if I'm saying it right, I had to go to the doctor every 2 weeks because I'm high risk now, as opposed to it was every month as opposed to every 2 months. Y'all, whatever the normal is, y'all, I had to do half that. So, yeah. But anyway, I had to go more often to the doctor for checkups. So I'm going to the doctor. 2 or 3 weeks pass by. Now a doctor comes in after they examining me. They was like, Again, have you felt the baby move? I guess they figure, well, I'm thinking, I'm going to say what they figured, because the baby only had one leg and they thought the baby was just leaning to the side, one side of my belly, that the baby wasn't hardly moving or whatever. I don't know. But have you felt the baby move? I said, again, I don't remember. I was like, I was still caught up in, to be honest, this pregnancy, it was a sad pregnancy because, forgive me for laughing, but I'm like, I really cared more about my marriage than the pregnancy. I mean, I showed no type of, I wasn't sad, I wasn't crying. The news that they gave me, I was just going on with the flow. And even now, as I speak and as I wrote the manuscript, I was like, I thank God, because I believe, people will say that you out of your mind, because you're not focused or whatever. But it's not that. Sometimes God will cover you and keep you so you don't lose your mind. Because, people will get there. People that really want to have children, you'll be like, okay, now my husband gay, now my baby deformed. What am I going to do? It's just like bad news, bad news, bad news. But I thank God for good news on top of good news on top of good news. CCL, if you hear me, I know what that means. But anyway, all the bad news I was getting, I was like, I don't know, I just believe God had me in a certain mindset, to not break. And sometimes, that's just what I believe. So come to find out, they said your baby have no heartbeat. The first thing I do, they wanted to send me upstairs to the hospital to induce my labor. I said, well, wait, let me go home first. I'm still believing God. I don't know what the average person would do, but I didn't go upstairs. I went home. I told my parents. They prayed for me in the church. And then my dad gave my mother instructions, take on back to the hospital. He didn't say it like something was wrong with me. It was more like, it is, it is what it is. Because, sometimes people be like, oh, I'm not taking that, I'm not hearing that. And you will command the baby to have a heartbeat, and we command the baby to flow and function and all that other good stuff. And it could be done. And they'll turn around to the doctors and blame it on the machines. But no, the baby had no heartbeat. So I went back that night, like 11 o'clock after church. My mother drove me over there. And during this time, go back to let me tell you about the husband. Remember I said it was holiday time coming up, and he started back hanging out. So all this that happened in that day, he didn't know anything about it. My brother-in-law, the brother-in-law that was married to my sister, that, we had almost the same wedding, well, the same wedding month. They were married July 27th, and we were married July 22nd. And so they kind of hung out a lot, and he's the one that got hold of him and told him, and then he brought him over. Mind you, by the time my husband got there, they already started inducing my labor, so I'm in pain. Even with that, I think about it now, y'all, I should have been asking for medicine. I was going through it even though, again, God was just, like, keeping me, like, even, when I didn't even know I need to be kept. He was keeping me because that was a lot of pain. And what made me know it was a lot of pain, I couldn't move. I couldn't get up and walk to the bathroom. Whenever I had to go to the bathroom, I had to bring a bedpan. So that was pain. So I'm going through that. No pain medication, thank God. They was like, you all right? I said, I was in the probably little days. I can say it now, but back then I didn't know. I'm just like, whatever. So when my husband got up there, he came up. Y'all got to forgive me for laughing. He came up, and he, like, kind of squeezed one side of the bed and laid by me. Y'all, I'm losing a baby, labor-induced, getting ready to push out a 4-month-old baby, because at 4 months, babies are fully, normally fully developed. They just have to get bigger and, gain more weight and get more, vitamins and stuff. So it's a whole fetus besides what my baby was missing. If it sounds comical, I'm sorry, I'm just being real. But what was funny to me was, or I thought was funny, is that my husband, he came and he laid up on the bed and cuddled with me. Here I go, y'all. I'm thinking, oh, well, he really loved me. Listen, we women could be crazy sometimes. And it's not even, like, on purpose. It's just, I don't know. Like, I'm like, oh, he really cares. I'm losing the baby. I should be mad, right? Oh, he really cares. Yo, I found out later, the reason why he got in the bed with me, because I didn't tell you in the beginning, my husband used to have seizures. Epilepsy, I got to read up on that. But anybody that know what seizures is, he used to get seizures. So I guess the news kind of overwhelmed him. He had a little headache or whatever. He had a seizure on his way coming there. So when he finally get to the room, after you have seizure, anybody know about it, it makes you tired. So he's tired, y'all. That's why he getting up on my hospital bed that my insurance paid for
for me and my unborn child. And he up there. And I'm thinking he just laying up there to be close to me, to console me, you know. He holding on to me so he don't fall out the bed. But it was like, you know, I was like, you can't win. You can't win, y'all. But anyway, so after that, I remember they were trying to use me or use my unborn baby as a, I want to say like a science project, not a project, but you know how they do, they want to test your baby and see what's wrong, because they did say that whatever was going on with my child, they haven't seen a case like that in 10 years in the United States. So this was back in 1996, I think, 95 or 96. So if it was 10 years ago, that means 85 or 86, they haven't seen anything like that in the United States in 10 years. So now they want to do like all these tests. I would say use the baby as a guinea pig once it comes out, and they weren't able to do it, y'all, because I remember my eyes was closed. Of course, I'm tired, you know, labor pains, and I remember I'm walked a whole, like, no lie, 15 doctors, y'all. But I found out, my mother told me later, it was interns as well. I didn't know, but I'm like, why are all of them here? And they're like, hey, this is the patient we tell you. This is Stephanie Daniels. And everybody like, hi, how you doing? Hi. All these different languages and, you know, races and all this stuff. You got every race. You got Chinese, black, white, Dominican, Spanish, African. I don't know. Everybody from every race was in there. So it was definitely a group of interns. And they was using me as a case study, meaning, you know, okay, y'all, this is something y'all want to talk about in class. And they brought all these people. I'm one person. When they all said hi, I just looked at it. I ain't say nothing. Because how I'm going to say hi to all these people? Hi. You know, but it is what it is. But anyway, that was that. So after one doctor examined me, they all left. All of a sudden they left, y'all, no lie. As soon as they left out, they must have went left, right, elevator. My mother went looking for them. Because as soon as they left, something said, whoop, whoop. That's the water breaker, y'all. Whoop, whoop. And then all of a sudden, the water comes out, and I felt the little baby come out. My mother going to look for somebody, all them team of people, nobody around. She found one lady walking in the hall, and I don't think she was, I know she was new, but that was her area, her expertise was labor and delivery, but she was new. What she did was she ran and she got a bottle solution and she set it up on the counter. She put on, she had gloves on, but that solution she touched must have touched the gloves because, woo, when she touched down there, it was burning, y'all. But anyway, she cut the cord and then she began to clean me up. But before she put the baby in the solution, she said, do you want to see? I was like, yeah. Then I was like, no. I was like, yeah. No. So my mother and my sister, y'all, anybody heard me tell you about my older sister? She is nosy, y'all. She was all in it, but it's okay. She was looking for me. She was all in it, and they just looking and looking, but I didn't see. I wish now I would have saw, but at that time I didn't want to see. So I was fine. And the lady put the baby in a bottle solution. And tune in for more parts of the baby. I finally get married only to find out that my husband is gay. The last part I left off with, I started telling you how I began to get really angry. I kind of stopped some of the crying, and I got really, really angry. And I've just started fighting, like, not physically, but a lot of times, like, just snapping back. They call it clap back these days. You know, as soon as somebody say something, I'm just, like, I mean, they may be talking about something. If you go from A to Z, they may start off like A, B, C, D. I'm all the way at Z. I just done ripped right through them with my mouth, and I didn't care. Y'all, I was talking junk. Thank God, it's the mercy of God. I remember going on a family trip with him and his family. I'm skipping over because I'm just going to tell you about the fighting part, the anger. So it was different times, but I'm just going to share some of the examples of how I got angry and began to act out. So I remember going on a trip. I don't know who said something to me. A lot of times people was playing, but I wasn't playing. So we got into a little argument or whatever. Now I'm arguing with like multiple people in his family. And the name of the bus was the last name of the family. Like, this is their family bus, their family trip. I'm in the family because I'm married in the family. But everybody looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm going through. I'm just going at it. And I remember his aunt or his mother's best friend, I don't know which how I went, she said to my mother-in-law at the time, from the first marriage. She said, you gonna let them bother your daughter-in-law like that? And his mother, my mother-in-law at the time, responded. She said, I'm not worried about Stephanie. Stephanie can handle herself. And I did. I handled myself. I mean, you know, for the most part, I just was running my mouth. I guess, again, they probably like, you know what, leave this girl alone, what she going through. But anyway, I remember one time, me and my husband got into it. He didn't like say anything. He would just always give us looks. And if he did say something, it'd be like shaking his head or looking at me, or like, I couldn't believe you did this. And I'm like, what? So as soon as he says something now, I'm going off, because I felt like, you are putting me through this, but you can't believe what I'm doing. I can't believe what you're doing. So I remember one time, we was going back and forth. It wasn't that heated, but he was just saying stuff. Whatever he was saying, I didn't like it. I went and got a knife, y'all. And you know how the Bible, the Old Testament says, if it offends you, cut it off. I started poking him down in that area, not in the particular area, but maybe like his leg and stuff. And I was like, not even realizing that I was sticking him hard. I was like, you know, whatever. I said, you know what, this is the problem down here. I said, I should cut it off. And I started like poking him, acting all crazy and everything. And I finally had to go to the emergency room. I don't think he got stitches, but he showed his brother, you know, he got to show somebody now, look what she did. I didn't even know what I did. But anyway, I wasn't aware of what I was doing. I'm just like blacking out moment. Then I remember one time, I forgot what happened. I don't know if I took something from him. He would never say nothing from me. I took something from him. He was trying to come back into the room where he was ironing his clothes. I don't know if I took the iron, knocked the ironing board down. I don't know what I did, but he was trying to get in the room, and I just took the door, and I slammed it real hard, not knowing his finger was there. And he had to go and get like a little splint, go to the emergency room for that, get a little splint. So whenever I found out that I did a little something, I felt like, oh, okay, I felt good. Like, that's what you get. I was like, really, I'm like, that's what you get type thing. I remember going on a conference or whatever, this big old conference for the ministry, the organization he was a part of. They was apostolic, but it's a different apostolic, where they have like all the bishops come together, all these people, suffering bishops, I don't know what kind of bishop they call it. But anyway, I'm just telling you different incidents where I got upset. He's supposed to direct the choir. He met somebody gay met him, and they like right in my face, flirting and saying flirtatious things. And I remember they always say, no drinks allowed in the conference area. You could bring water only. Y'all was not drinking water back then, so I always got me like a 7-Up or a Sprite, because it was clear. I would put it in the water bottle. So they just flirting back and forth. This other handsome gay guy, well-dressed, nice clothes, just whatever they was doing, I didn't like it. I was right there. What I do, I take my sports water bottle, threw it on him, shh, like that, shh, shh. And all the soda went on his clothes. He must have felt it on like his neck or face area, because he was like, oh, what is this? It's all sticky. Oh my God. And I was like, oops, sorry. And then he just walked away. Another group of people that was around was like, what was that? I said, soda. And they was like, girl, you need deliverance. And one young lady called herself laying hands on me, playing, but child, let me pray for you. Took her hand, lay your hands on no man suddenly. I mean, I had a scripture for everything, y'all. Even if it didn't apply to that time, but I was coming with scriptures for everything, trying to justify me acting out because of what I was feeling and going through. But I just wanted to say, like I said, I don't condone it. I know it's wrong. At that time, it felt right because I was going through, but I know it's not right. And again, this is the purpose of me writing my book. There is a reason of me telling my story. Excuse me, and I will get to it somewhere towards the end, or if the Lord had me to stop and share something, I'll do that. But I'm not just telling my story. My intentions is to help somebody that either is going through, like right now, what I went through, or you may have gone through and never found your way to get delivered. So as I continue to tell the stories, tune in, like, remember I said to comment, comment. You can even repost it. If you want to share it with somebody, share it with them. Even if you want to share, say, ooh, this girl telling her story. Or if you guys know me and say, oh, get on TikTok, Stephanie know her story. You can share it. It's okay. Help me out here, so the algorithm can pick up more. But anyway, I'll be back with another story. Stay tuned.